I want to make something clear as I record this video, which is from a page that I will link to below. I don't read these stories out loud and draw attention to them in order to engage in any kind of schadenfreude, or to say that these people got what they deserved, or that, in any other way to imply anything about that their deaths were anything other than tragic. But I do think it's worthwhile to draw attention to cases like this of people who were very, very vociferously sanctimonious in their attack on people who are skeptical of this whole virus operation, people who are anti-lockdown, who are anti-mask, who are skeptical about the injection, the kind of abuse that these people dole out against those who see things differently from them, and then who wind up dead from making the choices that they made. I just think this is worth pointing out. It's not an attack on anyone. It's neither pro nor anti Bajjed, as I've called it here. I'm not taking a position on the Bajjed one way or the other. It's something everybody has to decide to do or not to do. And I think everyone should have the right to decide whether to do it or not. But I do think these kind of things are worth talking about, maybe, dare I say, from a karmic perspective. You speak a certain way about your fellow man. You assume this posture of superiority and sanctimony, and then things don't go the way you think they're going to go. Anyway, just a couple of these cases I want to go over. There's a lot of them posted at this site, and I find all these stories rather compelling, but I'm just going to, for the sake of brevity, I just want to talk about a couple of them. So this person, Louis Nux, 42-year-old New Zealander hip-hop artist, that's him, mocks lockdown protesters, dead 28 days after second Bajjed. 42-year-old rapper, MMA fan, and youth mentor is dead in another post-Bajjed heart attack while exercising. Mr. Todd Williams, a.k.a. Louis Nux, received a second dose of the Bajjed on July 15th, according to his Twitter page. He reported sore arms the following morning, but no other adverse effects. He said he was ready to party morning after second Pfizer shot. Sore arm, that's it. Ready to party, he says. So, the article goes on to note Mr. Nux's vitriolic rhetoric and attitudes towards anti-lockdown protesters in Australia have been ongoing since at least May. He referred to thousands of protesters in Melbourne as whiny fucking babies. 7 days, you whiny fucking babies, he says in this article about people protesting in Melbourne. He posted a similar tweet on July 23rd, not only referring to Melbourne protesters as fucking stupid, but also threatened violence. He said he wants to punch one of these cunts in the jaw. Imagine being this fucking happy to be this fucking stupid. Just abuse after abuse after abuse towards people who see this event differently than him. I'm aghast, he tweets here, scanning these images to memory so I can punch one of these cunts in the jaw. That same day, he attacked the non-vaxxed 4 days earlier. 4 days later, he continued mocking the non-vaxxed. Sorry, but immune-compromised people's right to go get groceries trumps the guy who believes Bill Gates wants to chip him's rights to go to the rock show. Always with this hyperbole, representing people believing things that nobody has said. And then, he's insulting here. Maybe if the nurse pretends the syringe is a choo-choo train, the anti-vaxxers will take it. That's a good one. So yeah, I don't like this guy very much, but I'm not saying he deserved what he got, which is what we'll see happen in a minute. So we got a second Bajjed. Said 0 side effects. Someone wrote to him saying 8 to 10 deaths from the virus, 20 million locked up, heart disease kills thousands a year. Does the government make them exercise? His reply, you can't catch heart disease from your neighbor who skulls McDonald's. I don't know what that means, skulls. Scarfs down, eats, is that like New Zealand lingo? So, Mr. Nux woke up on April 13th, got on his treadmill, as was apparently a regular routine, but he suffered a heart attack while running on the treadmill, meaning blood flow was blocked, blood clots, to parts of his heart. He was pronounced dead shortly thereafter. All right, and there's a little bit more of a bio about him here. So, young, fairly young person, 42 years of age, obviously healthy, physically healthy. I don't know about all those face tattoos, neck tattoos. I don't know if that suggests mental health, but anyhow, spends so much time online being vitriolic, being hateful, being insulting about those who have concerns about the tyranny and the forced or the coerced injections, and then this happens to him. All right, let's take a look at somebody else. Okay, so scroll to the top here. So here's a story about a former Notre Dame professor who said, damn the unvaccinated, who died 12 days after third, booster shot of the Bajjed. 67-year-old Notre Dame professor is dead. Got my first dose. Never happier to be old. Now let's get those vaccines rolling for everyone. Okay, not so bad so far. But it goes on to say, Mrs. Heisler was a passionate, hardcore supporter of anything related to masks and COVID-19 mandates. She also displayed consistent animosity toward those who refused the Bajjed. She called non-vax people selfish and ordered them to stay home until you come to your senses. If you have no intentions of wearing a mask or getting the vaccine, please stay home until you come to your senses. You have no right or freedom to endanger the lives of family, friends, co-workers, health professionals, teachers in your community. You are selfish. All right. Yeah, again, not a very likable person, at least not to me, but I'm not saying that any of this, that she got what she deserved or anything like that. Ms. Heisler loved masks so much that she even made her dog wear them. Look at that picture. If I can get vaccinated, she wrote, so can you, and please wear a mask. I don't know if this is just a gag. I mean, it's literally a gag, but I don't know if it's just meant to be a joke or if did she actually make her dog wear a mask? That somehow just if that's the case, that just somehow makes me a bit more unsympathetic to her, seeing this helpless puppy muzzled up like that. All right, so a little while later, she announced that she received the third, I guess, the booster Bajjed. Her health apparently deteriorated very quickly thereafter. Mrs. Heisler tweeted from Orlando Regional Medical Center to see a cardiologist. She tweeted 3 times that day, all of them blaming the unvaccinated for her deteriorating health. She went out swinging, telling everyone to get the damn vaccine and damn the unvaccinated. My cardiologist tried to admit me to the hospital, but there are no rooms because of COVID. Had to go ER route, places teeming. I think she means TEEM. Teeming, and the waiting room stretches into hallways. Wait for someone's 15 hours to get the damn vaccine. I don't know how she would know that the reason that's because of the unvaccinated. I mean, are they? I don't think that's commonly given out. But anyway, it's the. I don't think the status of hospital patients is supposed to be given out as a general rule. Isn't that what HIPAA was all about? So they're taking beds away from heart and cancer patients. Look at the numbers. She died from cancer-related complications on September 19th. Okay. So once again, somebody who, it wasn't enough to just do what she thought was right. She had to say that other people out there who are hesitant or don't really like what's going on, she has to just attack them as awful people, as selfish as and just go after them in this extremely mean-spirited way. Then she develops heart problems just a few days after the third Bajjed, the booster Bajjed, and then dies. All right, let's take a look at one more. Okay, the final one we're going to look at, there are several more, but again, I don't want this to get too long. This person, 45-year-old Ohio bartender, tells world, shut up and get your vaccine, dead 5 weeks after second Moderna Bajjed. Okay. A 45-year-old bartender is dead. Is yet another case of death after social media virtue signaling. This person received his first dose of the Bajjed in Talmadge, Ohio. He expected side effects, he said, because Dr. Fauci says yes. The first shot is rough, so we've got a reverer of Fauci here. His word is gospel, apparently. So he proudly posts his vaccination card online, as so many others do. He congratulates someone else who also posts the same thing. Then it says, Mr. Maurer posted a strange update on May 3rd. He implied that experimental injections were a good thing because we still don't have a vaccine for AIDS. He concluded the post with, shut the hell up and get your COVID vaccine. Of course, the HIV virus was patented, well, not to get into that can of worms here. And AZT has a skull and crossbones on the label, but that's a different issue. All right, so here's his angry, sanctimonious tweet on May 3rd. He says, you don't want to get the COVID vaccine because it was done in less than a year? Wow. We have lost so many people. Wow, just wow. The typical passive-aggressive rhetoric. We have lost so many people in the AIDS pandemic, and we don't have a vaccine for that. We do have PrEP, but no real vaccine. Shut the hell up and get your COVID vaccine. What in the world does one have to do with the other? Because there's no vaccine for AIDS, therefore you should get this, get the Bajjed for this. Okay, May 18th. Okay, Mr. Maurer was the ideal American for the virus overlords. He registered for the Ohio Vax a Million lottery that gives people a chance to win money if they receive the experimental injections. Several other states offer lotteries for vax people. He writes, I am registered for the lottery. He writes this on May 18th. Vax a Million for a chance to win 1 million. Sorry. Of course, they've got the gay pride, the gay flag, and all this stuff. And it says Mr. Maurer died on June 5th. We're not told the details of his death, but he died on June 5th. Mr. Maurer was the perfect doomer, pro-vaxxer, or whatever you call them. He loved Fauci, masks, and everything about COVID-19 dystopia. He even mocked hydroxychloroquine in lockstep with the mainstream media directives. Okay. So, yeah, he's definitely on board with everything that the supposedly good people tell. That if you're a good person, you're not one of those bad people that's skeptical about things. He was loudly declaring his virtue and being on the right side of history and all those things. Okay. So, let's see if there's anything else here. So, yeah, that's it. There's plenty more to be found. But again, I really can't emphasize enough that it's not about laughing at these people, or saying they got what they deserved. That's the way that's unfortunately the way that the pro-Bajjed people are being programmed to talk about the non-Bajjed right now. I mean, I've seen many a comment where they've said things like, non-vaccinated people die, no great loss. I mean, I've seen comments like that all over the place. It's like compassion for fellow man just goes out the window, and it would be wrong if we were to allow those kinds of cruel and callous attitudes to affect our own attitudes towards people like this. I prefer to see them as victims of their own rhetoric, victims of their own belief system, victims of their own unshakable faith in the righteousness of their beliefs and their cause. But anyway, I will leave the link below and let me know what y'all think. My name's Andy Nowicki. Check out my work at altrightnovelist.com.